Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here at Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. And we have musician and singer Gia Ford. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And I've got to say, she's our own chef. She's from Sheffield as well. So give us a bit of background. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'd class myself as a singer-songwriter, I think. From Sheffield, I was born here in Sheffield. Uh, I went to I went to school in Cheshire because my mum took me to Cheshire, which was unfortunate, but anyway. But I was here every weekend, every holiday, and yeah, just started writing songs and stuff when I was about 14, 15, and then yeah, just kept going, and then here we are with the debut album tomorrow, which is extremely exciting. So yeah.
And we'll talk a bit more about the album later on. But I want to talk about your influences, Gia. So, I mean, who influenced you to become a musician? And also, a second part of this question is, if there's anybody that you could work with in the near future, who would it be and why?
Well, loads of my influences are dead
Right.
or not making music anymore. But I'd say maybe top three would have been, um, I'd say Kate Bush was a big one. My mum loved Kate Bush, so was always playing Kate Bush when I was young. And then Fleetwood Mac
Yeah.
and Stevie Nicks, particularly that incarnation of Fleetwood Mac. And then who else? Bit of an outlier, but Portishead. I loved Portishead growing up,
Oh,
um, which is different. Yeah, not the same kind of inspiration, but yeah, that was maybe my top three teenage years. And then if I could work with anyone, oh, so annoying because they're either, I mean, Kate Bush isn't really making music anymore, I don't think. I guess we could still do Stevie Nicks collaboration,
mm.
she'd be up for it. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, you never know. She might be listening right now, so you never know.
Yeah, she might be listening to Sheffield Live. I
So
don't know, maybe.
you never know. So hopefully, Stevie Nicks, if you're listening.
Yeah.
So, but I want to talk about your album now. So you've got a new album called Transparent Things, and it's releasing tomorrow. So tell us a bit about the album. I mean, how long did it take to make?
Um, I wrote the songs over the space of maybe a year. And then as soon as I got a new record deal, like around that time, and they said, "Do you want to release an album?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I put them all together, um, and uh, and then I finished it over a year ago now in about April 23. Um, so it's been quite a long time. I think it's probably been nearing 3 years in the making. Um, but that's been with all the single release and stuff like that.
Sure.
Uh, so yeah, it took a long time, but I recorded it in America, which was ridiculous. I didn't think I'd ever get that chance, but they sent me to LA, and I worked with Phoebe Bridgers' producer Tony Berg, um,
Wow.
which was again like ridiculous because I didn't think I'd ever get that opportunity. Um, so that was amazing, and yeah, so it's been a long time in the works, but I'm really excited to release it now. Yeah.
And I have to ask, I mean, what was the first song that captured your imagination and thought, well, I want to become a musician? What was the first song that you listened to that that you wanted to do this?
I wonder what. I don't know now that I'm thinking about it. I was surrounded by music for a lot of my childhood. My parents love music, and I can't think of one particular song. For some reason, I think it's because I had to write something earlier about this, like what was my earliest musical memory. And my grandparents used to throw parties when I was a kid in their house,
Mm.
and it would get to that stage of the night, and they kind of let us kids sort of roam around all night. And they used to play a lot of Barbra Streisand, so they used to play that "Guilty" song that she did with Barry Gibb from uh, Bee Gees,
Yeah.
and that they were always playing that. So maybe that was it. But I don't think I ever felt I could write songs like that. I used to be interested in like Ben Howard when he like 3 albums in, he did some really dark acoustic, like sorry, electric guitar stuff, and I really thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Maybe I wanted to emulate them, stuff like that. I think, yeah, like dark folk.
Right. Interesting.
Mm.
And I mean, you've got a single also called "Try Changing." So, I mean, tell us a bit about the story of it. I mean, what is the lyrics behind
It's the only song on the record that's kind of more personal. Most of them are about characters that I've written, but that one's about my parents, and it's about when you get older and you have to sort of you end up teaching them what they taught you as a kid, and they go through their own difficulties, and you realize you get to a certain age and you realize that they are just human beings and they've got their own lives, and so it's sort of about that, how you end up teaching them what they taught you as a kid and reminding them of their philosophies and stuff. Um, so it's quite a nice one. That I don't usually write about things like that, but it was a nice one to write.
And I mean, for our listeners who want to break into the music industry and become a musician, what advice would you give? And also, how difficult is it?
I think it's as difficult. I mean, it is difficult to get a foot into the door because there's obviously so many people that want to do it. Um, but I say this every time, so I've probably said this like 10 times, but it's the only answer that I feel like giving. It's like the industry can make you kind of can make you feel a bit desperate for attention and desperate for recognition, but it's
Mm,
not. None of that is as important as your relationship with writing music is, and I
yes,
think it's really easy to lose sight of that, and it's easy to try and mold your music so that it will be more likely to be successful or whatever it is. And I think that's the worst path to go down because you're yourself and your music is yourself, and you need to stick to that passion that you initially had. And if that means that you don't go for a career in music, then so be it. I think it's such an amazing passion to have, and um, it would be sad to lose that just because you want to be
Ju-
successful or whatever it is. So
sure.
yeah, I'd say just keep that. Just that's a very precious thing. So try and protect that no matter what. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Gia. And I mean, I've got to talk about how can people get a copy of your album. So it's releasing tomorrow, September 13th. And so how can people get a copy? Is there going to be physical copies? Is it going to be digital?
Yeah, there's CDs and there's vinyls and there is limited edition vinyl as well, which is transparent, obviously. Um, and so yeah, and it's on all the streaming platforms. I think you can even buy it on Amazon, which was kind of funny for me to see. But yeah, so yeah, you can. It's out. I think probably midnight it drops onto streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And then some independent record stores are stocking it throughout the UK. I'm going to go to Bear Tree after this interview, actually in Sheffield, which is at the
Right.
back of the forum. So they've got some limited stuff, and they've got the normal ones as well. So yeah, you can get them anywhere. I've got them on my website as well, which you can find through my Instagram, or if not, it's just giaford.co.uk. Um, so yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Gia. And other than the new album that you made, that is releasing tomorrow, is there any future projects that you're currently working on, or is it all secretive at the moment?
I don't even know what it will eventually be. It might be an EP, they might be singles, but I've definitely got new music that I've already started writing. But we'll see. We'll see what that ends up being. But yeah, I'm always writing songs. And actually, I've not said this to anyone yet, but I recorded 12 songs. There's only 11 on the record. So there is another song that I don't know what I'm doing with yet, but I might release it as a single or special edition or something like that. So yeah, lots to come.
Interesting, very interesting. And you have an upcoming tour in November, so tell us a bit more about the tour.
Yeah, it's my first headline tour, so that'd be really nice. Have a few support acts differing on depending on which cities we're in. And I think I can't remember exactly how many shows. I think there might be 8 shows or something across the UK, and that's starting in November. The last one is Sheffield, playing down at Sydney and Matilda, which I love. I love that place. It's really nice. Um, so yeah, it's just a classic album promotion tour. I'll be playing most of the album, and we're learning new songs for that tour. So yeah, should be really fun.
Looking forward to it. And so our listeners, for our listeners who want to follow you, do you have like social media where people can follow you on, like Twitter, X? Well, should I say X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook?
Yeah, yeah, I'm everywhere. It's just Gia Ford on everything. I've got TikTok, don't use it very much, but I use yeah, Instagram, X, got a YouTube channel, and then my website is just giaford.co.uk. So it's all pretty easy.
Okay. And my final question for you is, because I like to give a final word to you, Gia, is what would you like to say to our listeners who is currently listening right
About my stuff.
now? About anything. So whatever
Anything.
you want to talk about.
I would say, I mean, I guess most of them Sheffield, right?
Yeah, they are, yes.
I'd say, whilst the weather is improving, currently looking out of my window, go out to the Peak District, go and have a nice little wander while you can, lest it becomes like yesterday where it just rained and rained and rained. And we're all used to it, but go and have a good day. And thanks for listening and listen to my record. That's what I'd say tomorrow.
Gia, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Have a good day.